Once, there was a village named Greenland. It was a place woven from the threads of nature itself. The river, a silver ribbon, flowed with water so pure you could see the pebbles dance on its bed. The air was a clean, crisp embrace, carrying the scent of wildflowers and damp earth after a monsoon shower. The forests were dense and dark, a living cathedral where sunlight dappled through a canopy of ancient trees. People lived in harmony with this bounty. They drank from the river without fear. They breathed the air without a cough. They took only what they needed from the forest, and the forest always gave back in abundance. Life in Greenland was a gentle rhythm, dictated by the sun and the seasons. The farmers knew the soil like the back of their hands. They practiced crop rotation, letting the land rest and recover. Their harvests were plentiful, feeding every family with wholesome, organic food. The village elders told stories of the spirits of the forest and the goddess of the river, teaching the young to respect the delicate balance of their world. This was not just a village, it was an ecosystem where humans were a responsible, integrated part of the puzzle, not its disruptive overlords. It was a promise of a future where humanity and nature could coexist, where progress did not demand the destruction of the very world that sustains us. Then, the change began. It arrived not with a bang but with a whisper. Something new called progress. A small factory was built upstream. Its purpose? Bring jobs and modernity. At first, people celebrated, but soon a dark, unfamiliar slick appeared on the river. The water began to smell foul. Fish floated belly up, their silver scales dulled by invisible poisons. Children who swam developed rashes and fevers. Elders said the river goddess was crying chemical tears. The forests were next. Outsiders arrived with loud machines. They tore through ancient trees with terrifying speed. They called it deforestation. They promised new roads. They promised bigger farms. The canopy vanished. Soil lay exposed. Monsoon rains washed away the topsoil. Barren, cracked earth remained. Birds and animals disappeared. Only the wind's mournful whistle remained. The air grew heavy and grey. Smoke and dust filled every breath. A persistent cough settled over the village. Unseen poison inhaled day and night. The climate seemed to rebel. Rains failed, causing drought, or came as violent deluges, causing flash floods. Season's rhythm was broken. Farmers watched the sky with anxiety. Greenland was gasping for breath. Prosperity turned to poverty and disease. Harvests failed. Clean water was gone. The forest's gifts ceased. People once self-sufficient now depended on uncertain jobs and dwindling resources. The social fabric frayed. The happy green village became a wasteland. When nature is wounded, humanity bleeds. Blind, unsustainable progress led to the brink of collapse. The paradise was lost. The story of Greenland is not a work of fiction. It is the story of India, playing out on a vast and urgent scale. Our great rivers, the Ganges, Yamuna, once revered as holy mothers, are now choking on industrial effluents, untreated sewage, plastic waste. They are India's dying lifelines. Our cities are gasping for air. Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata. The grey haze that blankets our urban skylines is a toxic cocktail of vehicular emissions, industrial smoke and construction dust. This haze is leading to respiratory illnesses and a diminished quality of life for millions. This is our national health crisis. Our green cover is under immense pressure. Deforestation for mining infrastructure projects agricultural expansion. This relentless loss of trees is causing massive soil degradation. An estimated 30% of India's total land area is affected by land degradation. The fertile topsoil, which takes centuries to form, is being washed away into our rivers, silting them up, reducing agricultural productivity. We are losing the very foundation of our food security. This is not just an environmental issue. It is a direct threat to the livelihoods of millions of our farmers. This environmental degradation is leading to a catastrophic loss of biodiversity. India is one of the world's most biodiverse countries, but our rich natural heritage is vanishing at an alarming rate. When we destroy a forest, we are not just cutting down trees, we are evicting an entire community of living beings. The path forward for India is not to halt progress but to redefine it. It is to build a future where development does not come at the cost of our environment. The first seed of this change lies in embracing renewable energy. We must transition away from our dependence on fossil fuels. coal oil which pollute our air and warm our planet. India has immense potential for solar energy, wind energy. Imagine our vast deserts and rooftops covered in solar panels, harnessing the power of the sun to light up our homes and run our industries cleanly and affordably. This is not a distant dream, it is an achievable goal that can power our nation sustainably. The second crucial step is a massive afforestation movement and ecological restoration. We must plant new trees and protect our existing forests with fierce determination. Initiatives that involve local communities in forest management can be incredibly effective. They create a sense of ownership and shared responsibility. We need to bring life back to our barren lands through sustainable farming practices, agroforestry, organic farming. These methods improve soil health, conserve water, reduce the need for chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and ensure our food is healthy and our land remains fertile for generations to come. Water conservation is the third pillar of our sustainable revolution. We must treat every drop of water as precious. Revive traditional water harvesting structures, yohads, talabs. Promote rainwater harvesting in our cities. The Indian government has recognized the urgency of this environmental crisis and has begun to steer the ship of state towards a more sustainable course. One of the most significant initiatives is the Jal Jeevan mission. This ambitious program aims to provide safe and adequate drinking water through individual household tap connections to all rural households by 2024. But it is more than just laying pipes. The mission emphasizes source sustainability, rainwater harvesting, groundwater recharge, greywater management. It is a holistic approach that understands that providing water is meaningless if the water sources themselves are not protected and replenished. Complementing this is the National Mission for a Green India, or the Green India Mission, a core component of the National Action Plan on Climate Change. Its goals: increase forest cover, improve forest quality, protect biodiversity, enhance ecosystem services. India's journey towards sustainability is not happening in isolation. It is part of a global chorus of nations striving to address the planetary crisis. A key landmark in this collective effort is the Paris Agreement. Nearly every country has pledged to limit warming, limit to well below 2 degrees C, preferably 1.5 degrees C compared to pre-industrial levels. The 2030 Agenda and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals guide global action. The SDGs are a universal call to end poverty, protect the planet, ensure peace and prosperity for all. By working towards national goals, India contributes to global targets, showing how a developing nation can balance growth with environmental responsibility. The conversation about sustainability is no longer confined to environmental activists. It has now entered the boardrooms of banks and the policy corridors of the Reserve Bank of India. This is because environmental risks are now recognized as significant financial risks. For candidates preparing for the RBI Grade B exam, understanding this link is crucial. Sectors dependent on natural resources like agriculture are vulnerable to climate change events, droughts, floods. This can lead to loan defaults and increased non-performing assets for banks, threatening the stability of the financial system. The RBI is increasingly focused on how climate risk can impact monetary policy and financial stability. This new reality is giving rise to the field of green finance. This involves directing financial flows towards sustainable projects and climate-friendly technologies. Banks and financial institutions are being encouraged to develop new products like green bonds, which raise capital specifically for projects with positive environmental outcomes, such as renewable energy plants or green buildings. The RBI is exploring frameworks for climate risk disclosure for banks and promoting a financial ecosystem that incentivizes green investments. A strong, stable economy in the 21st century must be a green economy. For an RBI Grade B aspirant, this is a key theme connecting economic policy with environmental imperatives. Investing in sustainability is not a cost. It is one of the greatest economic opportunities of our time. The transition to a green economy will create millions of new jobs in sectors like renewable energy, waste management, electric mobility, and sustainable agriculture. It will spur innovation and make Indian industries more efficient and globally competitive. A cleaner environment also has direct economic benefits, such as reduced healthcare expenditure due to lower pollution levels and increased agricultural productivity from healthier soils. Sustainable development is, therefore, the most effective long-term economic growth strategy for India. The future of India's economy and its people is green.